Welcome back to The Wandering Screen. I'm Matt Koss, and today we're diving into The Roses, Jay Roach's new black comedy starring Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch. It's sharp, it's funny, it's sometimes heartbreaking, and it's got an ending that made me want to throw popcorn at the projection booth. Let's jump in. The Roses is adapted by Tony McNamara, the writer behind The Favourite and Poor Things, from Warren Adler's novel The War of the Roses. On paper, that already tells you what you're in for. It's barbed dialogue, heightened absurdities, and a slightly sinister undertone. Here we follow Ivy, Colman, and Theo, Cumberbatch, two artists whose careers and egos take them in wildly different directions. Theo is an architect whose grand design literally collapses during a storm, cratering both his reputation and his career. Meanwhile, Ivy's ambitions as a chef skyrocket. That same storm floods in rave reviews for her crab restaurant, turning her into a culinary star. Suddenly, Ivy is the breadwinner, Theo becomes a reluctant stay-at-home dad, and their one symbiotic relationship starts to rot from the inside. At first, their differences are played for laughs. Ivy comes home late from work, Theo is home dealing with lice. Ivy wants her children to embrace the chaos of life, Theo drills them like athletes in training camp. The small resentments pile up, and McNamara's script revels in the bickering. The humor is really sharp, and with Colman and Cumberbatch leading the charge, it's a lot of fun to watch. Colman begins Ivy as timid, warm, and understated, while Cumberbatch's Theo is ambitious, egotistical, but still adoring. Together they create a believable sense of love before the storm hits, and that's what makes their unraveling sting. It's not just screaming matches, it's missed glances, it's grudges left uncommunicated, and little silences that balloon into resentment. And by the midway point, the tedium of their friction starts to set in. And then we jump in time. And this is where the shortcomings become most glaring. The film moves fast. It's a lean 95 minutes, which is refreshing compared to the modern wave of bloated 2.5-hour exercises in bladder control, but it also skips over crucial beats. The kids jump from childhood to full-blown teenagers practically overnight. Suddenly we're told Ivy hasn't connected with them in years, and Theo's been obsessively preparing them from ultra marathons, and somehow Ivy has just awoken to the realities of her family dynamics. We never see that emotional drift. It's all fast forwarded. That choice leaves some of the family scenes undercooked. Ivy might as well have vanished for 8 years. The years didn't just pass. There were more moments accumulated that characterized the disconnect between Theo and Ivy. The comedy lands, but the emotional gut punch never fully develops. Still, there's plenty to enjoy. The food is mouth-watering, the house Theo builds with Ivy's money is gorgeous, the supporting cast is stacked. Andy Samberg, Ncuti Gatwa, Alison Janney all pitch in, and then there's Kate McKinnon. And look, I adore her, she's a comedic powerhouse, but here, she's stuck in a bizarre caricature, a hypersexual thrift store wearing weed allergic oddball who's married to Theo's best friend, and she has some really great one-liners which are mostly seen in the trailer, but the character is paper thin, and it felt like McKinnon was ad-libbing her way through scraps, and that's a waste of her talent. I wanted her to have a role with teeth and not just quirky filler. Okay, if you haven't seen The Roses yet, I'm giving you 3 seconds to jump to another one of my reviews after you hit those like and subscribe buttons, because I'm about to go into some spoilers. Here we go. So the ending. They die. Both Ivy and Theo. It's pretty clear they go up in a fiery climax that threatens to burn down half the continent in a raging forest fire. And the poor kids, They just left for athletic school, relieved that their parents were finally divorcing, and are left with nothing but their gym shorts and Apple Watches. I hated the ending. Not just because it was bleak. A bleak ending is fine when it's earned, but here, it felt like a cop-out. There's no poetic justice, no catharsis, just chaos for chaos' sake after the chaos over Julia Child's stove. The ending just didn't hit for me, and I didn't throw my popcorn on the floor because that would be rude, but in my mind, I launched it over my head into the projection booth because I was deeply unsatisfied with the ending. The Roses is a sharp, funny, brisk black comedy worth a Saturday night watch. The performances from Colman and Cumberbatch carry the whole thing. McNamara's dialogue is delightfully dry, and in under 100 minutes, you won't feel like you've lost an entire evening. And yet, the rushed timeline leaves character beats undercooked. The supporting roles deserved more. And the ending, really, if you haven't noticed, left me salty. But still, for fans of biting marital comedies and Olivia Colman stealing the show, The Roses delivers. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop me a comment. What's your favorite Colman or Cumberbatch movie? For me, Colman's Peak is still the favorite, though Broadchurch is still up there. And Cumberbatch, I'm gonna go with Atonement, actually. Even if his role there still gives me shivers. See you next time on The Wandering Screen.